We also make mention in the program of reiterate our employee assistance program, our wellness program, our peer support program, which we're putting some more effort into now, and our chaplain program, and a number of different contact information at the back of the report you'll see on page 15 for community support, which gives employees the opportunity, if oftentimes people don't want to reach out directly to their employer, it gives them the opportunity to reach out within their own community. And we hope it will assist them not just with our own employees, but also help them in their own family lives and see things that are going on. So we're quite pleased with the report as it stands, and it's an ongoing thing forever. It will continue to evolve and change. And if you could provide other comment if you need.
Member Stewart.
Thank you, and through you, Chair, I have just a couple of questions, and looks like quite a comprehensive report to outline, you know, what we as an employer need to do to support our employees in this situation. But I'm just curious about
designed primarily, again, to let people reflect on their own selves, but also primarily to be able to see flags and see things going on around them, see what's going on with their employees, so that they can have we can have some kind of a preemptive strike and get in and provide some opportunity, at least for them to seek some assistance. So that's been a very big part. And as I said, this is a live document which will evolve our whole process on this. We'll continue to educate our people. You'll see things on the intranet. We'll see constant through supervisory training programs to make sure that we continue to do all of these things. But I don't know, Lisa, if you want to add some to that. She's worked on this.
The other thing is, I'm not sure, on page 11 it talks about the orientation night, the family night. So the family members come in during the week, the recruits come on board with the service, and they have a family night, and it's PTSD is talked about at the family night, and recognizing symptoms is talked about at the family night, and how to deal with them is talked there. The road to mental health is another one. And then in terms of anti-stigma, where the general order that's being finalized talks about anti-stigma. And I'm not sure, I can't remember the name of them. If you're aware of the, around the service, there's, I can't remember what they're called, the ones that Sandy Staniforth does. There's signage around reminding members to wear their seatbelts and those kind of ideas. It's a program around the service. There's going to be information on there about anti-stigma and PTSD as well. They're working on that to incorporate that into there as well. But the family night has been very well received to get the members coming in, and then once they're, and their families, and then once they're here, they're trained through Road to Mental Readiness. And then if you've read in here, we have a safeguarding program, and the safeguarding program, the members who are in these identified areas meet with a psychologist in advance. So again, they're getting training on how to deal with it, what signs to look for. The supervisors are getting the same kind of training.
Well, thank you for that. I just, you know, wanted to give you a chance to sort of highlight that part, because the best laid paper plans only work if the people have actually been educated and are getting the buy-in. And it'd be really interesting to see over the next, you know, 5 years or whatever it is, does this have an impact? Did this positive program have an impact on absenteeism and whatever in the long run? It'll take a long run to see those impacts, and it's not going to be next week. I get that, but it'd be really nice to see how the impacts of the wellness, because this is, to me, it's just all part of a wellness program. And thank you very much for this. I think it's terrific.
Member Marshall.
Thank you. Chief, I have a concern. I think it's a great program, but our officers are macho and tough guys, and admitting that they have a problem, I suspect is going to be very difficult for many of them. And have you, I mean, to go to our local or our company nurse rather than, you know, I just concerned that they may not want to take advantage of that. If we examine, you know, an outside source that they can turn to?
Yeah, certainly. And our, you know, I know most of our people, and I think the days of the macho tough guy cop has really changed. The culture is changing dramatically. Or, as you've heard me say before, they're humans first. I agree with you. 10 years ago, none of that would have happened. I think, and there may still be some people that don't, but the whole point of the Road to Mental Readiness program, the whole point of our EFAP, which is the anonymous ability to go outside the organization to seek help, we make that available to them. The whole purpose of this plan also is to make all of us, our supervisors, our management personnel, our peers, able to notice things that are going on and make themselves available for that. So I think it is a culture change, but I think we are pretty well into it already. We've got a long ways to go. You're absolutely right. There are some people that will just fight the demons and ignore what's going on and say, I'm a cop and that's the way it goes. But I think we've done a dramatic, and when I say we, not just us, right across the country, we've done some dramatic work on making those changes. I think our people know it's okay to be gravely disturbed by some of the things that you have to be involved in now. It's not just go home and don't tell your family about it and go to bed and get back up and come to work. Some of those things will happen. The interesting thing, as you're no doubt aware with PTSD as well, is it doesn't have to be one big, very grave, horrific event. It can be just the compilation of many events that normal people don't have to experience. It can just be, it can be a compilation of perhaps minor traffic collisions, but lots of injury and maybe some blood, but nothing overly horrific. But these things build up differently on every single person, and that's the goal now. We used to treat everybody the same. We recognize there are others, but I think there are a lot of options available. You are right, there will be some that it doesn't work, but I think we're dramatically advanced from what we were 5 years ago, and hopefully 5 years from now we'll be that much further. Lisa had something to add.
The safeguarding program, which was developed by a group of representatives across the service. So it was developed by representatives from all the units, and by the NRPA was there, members of exec staff were all there. The safeguarding program is actually outside, we have outside psychologists who are coming in, and that's who they will meet with. So they are not going to the nurse for those. She is maintaining the program, setting up the appointments, organizing, ensuring people go when they have to go. But that program was developed by the officers themselves. They were the ones who led the way on developing the program, and Member Stewart will be aware that it came up in the business plan. It's kind of funny, it's in the business plan. This has been discussed for, I gotta say, 6 to 8 years. It's been talked about, but it wasn't until this year that the group got together and put it in place, and it is outside psychologists, and it is the members who want it themselves. And it's not, you have to go. So they like that because everybody's going. So it's not like we're picking and saying you need to go, or we're thinking you should go. Everybody who's in a job that puts them at risk. And then if a supervisor thinks they've had a major event that could put their group at risk, they have an option of calling in the psychologist for that group as well. So if there's a major event that happens and a supervisor on the front line thinks the psychologist need to be called in, they can call the psychologist in. So the members want this. It's wanted by the members.
Member Genzo.
Thank you, Chair, and through you to the service on this. I only had a chance last night to have a very high-level skim, but I've had a better chance this morning to go through this. I'm going to assume on page 4 that the changes to the Occupational Health and Safety Act in the last basically 12 months is one of the initiatives of getting this finally into a written form or document. I know the work has been ongoing for several years, but this is finally if you want to call it, the conclusion of all that work. Am I correct in saying that?
That's correct. That's where this has been driven from, and certainly from our own interests as well, but from the legislative point, that's where it's driven.
And on the other item too, when I'm looking on page 15, where I see a lot of numbers, which I think it's always important for people to be able to, quote, reach out to the EAP and that. The issue dealing with basically the peer support program, a member who says, you know something, I'd like to chat with somebody or have that conversation. How does he reach into the peer support program? There's no phone number listed for that or a contact person. Like, how is that arranged?
Yeah, so in the past, we've had the crisis intervention team that would roll out and assist at traumatic events, and it's that's been a long time program, but we're developing. The peer support program is actually still under development. We're still detailing how that's exactly going to work, who the people, I think we put a request out just recently to get people to come together so that we can develop a proper peer support program. So we don't have that completed as yet, but that's in work as we move now.
Okay, because I mean, again, I think it's important that somebody's able to get to a number or get to somebody with, you know, there will always be this sort of a stigma component, and I'm hoping that the members can get past that and say, you know, I'm going to reach out to somebody, and I know I'm not going to have any, if you want to call it, pushback from that. One last thing on the chaplains, almost the same thing. I know we have chaplains, I think we have 6 chaplains right now.
We've had some changes, but yes.
Okay. Again, I don't see a phone number here, but I know they sort of follow district or divisional boundaries. You know, one's in St. Catharines, that's because his church or place of worship is there. Is there an easy way for members to contact the chaplains? Do they know who they are and where they are?
I think most members do know who they are, and we do have bulletin boards in each station and wellness boards, and I believe the Wellness Committee will be posting, if it's not already there, a list of contacts. And we may very well, I think as part of this report, what you see on this page, develop this into a card of sort that can be delivered to every single employee. They can tuck it in their books and have it with them at all times. And all of this is also accessible through our intranet.
Also, many of these there's general orders. This is just a summary of the plan for the ministry, and we'll post this as well. But peer support, there's a psychological wellness general order, which provides a lot more detail for the members, and there's a chaplain's general order, which provides a lot more detail. So this is a summary for the ministry, a summary of all the services we offer as they requested, but we have specific psychological wellness general orders, a PTSD general order, that's being approved in a couple weeks, PTSD general order, we have a chaplain general order. So this is just a summary.
That PTSD order I signed at 8:15 this morning, so it's complete and will now go out to everyone.
But I think moving forward on this, what's important is, you know, some of these, as you say, it can be an accumulation of events, and the person gets home to his wife and say, you know, something, I've had it, or this has been a really bad day. He's not going to rush back in to look at a general order. The idea of having some sort of a card or something immediately available that he has, I think, goes a long way. I think the key to this is we're providing a number of services, which I think is an extremely good move on our part, and he or she has many avenues to access support, be it an outside agency or a peer group. It's being able to get to them, and being able to get to them without having to come back in, look at a general order or something like that. Again, it gives them the access, and I think that's what we're trying to build here. I think that's at the end of the game. We're trying to get a member of this service, police or civilian, the assistance they need without a lot of, I mean, I hate, you know, to say it, no one wants to read through a general order to find a phone number. That's what I'm getting at. Anyway, those are only my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Just wondering if there's any move to incorporate PTSD awareness, facilitation, et cetera, in terms of the OPC, Ontario Police College, so that per Member Stewart's initial concern that right from the get-go they're given some early indoctrination and information with regard to how to address symptoms that they may suffer while they move through their career?
Yeah, I do know that, I don't know the exact curriculum, but I do know that every recruit gets some training at least on wellness and EFAPs and how to reach out and what the dangers of being exposed to trauma can be. So they do get an introduction to that. And then I'm certain that every service now across Ontario will be following through with something like this when they bring them back for their own training before they get on the road.
Thank you for that. The motion before the board is to receive and approve for distribution the report generated internally to the Ministry of Labor. Could I have a vote, please? Carried. Thank you. Is there anything further on human resources for the public portion of the meeting? Seeing none, we'll move into confidential. Thank you.